Channel, your local forecast. This is Weather Scope.
A storm system in the eastern half of the nation is bringing a mix of wintry precipitation to the Great Lakes region tonight and will impact those of you in the Northeast coming up Christmas Day. Good evening and thanks for tuning in to Weather Scope. I'm Mike Seidel.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Marrow. The same storm has also produced some soaking rains for parts of the southeast. I know I got a lot of rain last night, and dumped quite a bit of snow out in the plains. Case in point, Kansas City, Missouri, where the snow was coming down fast and furious, and you can see the result here forced many of you to get out those snow shovels. For others, the snow was a delight. You attempted to build a snowman or took a dog out for a little bit of a stroll there. Those of you doing some last-minute shopping had to take just a little bit of extra time, as did the folks in Chicago. Even though the snow wasn't sticking on the main roads here, it was sticking on some of the passers-by, and it did accumulate up to 2 inches at O'Hare Airport, 1 inch on the south side of town, and about 4 to 6 inches the farther north and west of the city you got. But some pretty scenes there for Christmas Eve. Have to apologize for the black hole out here in the western parts of the nation, but we'll concentrate on our big storm here in the east, this big arc of precipitation. Again, wrapping around, we're getting a pretty big batch of rain now, pushing up through northern Indiana, Ohio, and arcing all the way down into Kentucky. Even a little bit of thunder and lightning in there from time to time. There's our low pressure area. Now this storm will continue to pull to the north and to the east. A little bit of sleet up here in parts of Michigan, a little bit of snow on the northwest fringe, but this part of the storm appears to be dying down a little bit, and most of the wintry weather action will be in the northeast. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Here's some of those snowfall tallies. Marion, Iowa, up to 8 inches. Des Moines, actually up to 5 inches now. And Moline, I believe, close to 7 inches of snow, or 6. I think it was 6. Okay, 6. But I think Des Moines is up to about 5 inches. So we'll have to update that for you. Chicago, there's O'Hare at 2 inches. And there's our radar. And again, this is snow, folks, up here to the north. And a little bit of snow actually down here, maybe just to the west of Chicago, maybe mixed with a little bit of rain in here as well. But as far as any additional accumulating snow, all the weather advisories out here that had been out for northern Illinois have pretty much been canceled. So again, just the snow that you have on the ground might be a little bit slushy out there tonight. Now look at all this moisture moving up into the northeast. Winter weather advisories for some of the counties of northern Jersey, much of upstate New York, extreme northeast, north central PA, all of pretty much southern New England. The best thing to do is take about I-95 anywhere north and west of I-95. That's where a lot of the icing problems may be. As this moisture overruns, colder air kind of stuck here, you're probably going to get maybe a little snow at the beginning, then sleet and freezing rain, and it could be very icy as you're headed off to maybe some morning services, places like Albany or Worcester, or maybe even up toward Bradley and Windsor Locks. Snow up into the mountains, and again, this snow is really starting to taper off back here in Michigan and into parts of Wisconsin. A lot of the rain off the coast now of the Carolinas, and just some leftover showers, maybe a few thunderstorms in Florida. We'll watch that again on Christmas Day. For the rest of the nation's weather, let's go back to Mike.
Okay, Jeff, we've got another storm in the southwest, and that is turning that area into a winter wonderland tonight, southwest and rocky areas. Those of you in Salt Lake City, it's a white Christmas. Today you awoke to snow showers, and before the event was through, about 4 inches had fallen. That was just enough to do a little snowboarding or sledding out there with the dog. That looks like fun. Some of you even took in the scenery and took a jog. Not a bad time of the year to work off those extra calories from the Christmas cookies. An ironic sight in the mountains around Phoenix, snow in the Maricopa Mountains. Light snow fell in the area today, coupled with some thunder showers. The precip ended by afternoon, but it was a day even avid golfers decided, as you can see here, to stay off the links. Okay, let's talk about what's going on. Jeff discussed the storm moving into the Northeast and Great Lakes, and I'll talk about the rest of the country and update your radar with the snows and the plains. There's the spin. Again, we talk about rotation in the atmosphere leading to storminess, and we've got a storm, but again, it's not the storm of the age. Meanwhile, fair skies and offshore winds continuing in California, so a bright sunny Christmas day, albeit a windy one, from the basin up towards the Bay Area. There are the bright clouds here indicating the snow showers continuing primarily now in Colorado and New Mexico. More snow for the ski resorts. It's been a banner season so far in the southern Rockies because of that southern jet stream associated with El Nino. And you can see the light snow from the plains into the Front Range. It's snowing in the mountains too around Aspen, although the radar's not picking it up. More snow down towards Taos, Las Vegas, and Albuquerque. And we do expect another 3 to 6 inches. So again, enough to shovel and clean off the windshield, but certainly not enough to shut down transportation. Temperature now in Denver with the light snow 22, so anything that does come down will stick. 75 right now, 75 in Miami. Boy, that's a pretty nice night for Christmas Eve. 34 though in Chicago, and it's been a slushy snowfall downtown on the Loop. I just mentioned El Nino. That brings us up to tonight's El Nino Focus. Here's Jeff.
That's right, Mike, and in fact, El Nino is really the ocean and atmosphere working together for climatic change. Jim Cantore explains more about this in tonight's El Nino Focus.
In normal non-El Nino years, the surface of the Pacific Ocean along the coast of South America is cool, about 8 degrees cooler than the surface in the western Pacific. That's because of the trade winds. The prevailing trade winds in this part of the world are from east to west, and those winds push the ocean's surface along with them. That piles warm water up in the western Pacific. Sea level is about 1.5 feet higher near Indonesia than at Ecuador. And because the surface water is moved west, the cold water from deeper levels rises toward the surface off South America, sometimes to within 50 meters. That's called upwelling, and it's responsible for the cold surface temperatures. But in an El Nino, the trade winds diminish, and in some cases actually reverse. Without the trade winds, upwelling diminishes. The cold water from the depths remain far below the surface, and the surface warms. So it is this relationship between the wind and the ocean that causes the changes we know as El Nino. I'm Jim Cantore, the Weather Channel.
Join us every night for our El Nino Focus. Now let's take a look at that Christmas Day forecast. Here's Mike.
Okay, Jeff, here it goes. Santa has done his duty, and now it's time to enjoy the holidays and friends and family over in Northeast. One of those old-fashioned Christmases, snow on the ground, more snow coming down in the ski resorts, northern New England, but those of you who got the snow in Worcester and Albany the other day, it's going to be more of a sleet and freezing rain event as it tapers down around lunchtime. Drier air moving into the southeast and mid-Atlantic, but still mild. 60 or so around D.C. on Christmas Day. That's not too hard to take. A few showers with a front in Florida. Again, when you're approaching this time of the year, you often don't have the instability, although we did yesterday, to have severe weather, but we will have some thunder and lightning and some downpours. Some areas, Tampa Bay, for instance, Clearwater Beach. South Florida looks pretty good. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, the Florida Keys, thinking about maybe working on the tan. Temperatures up there in the low 80s. A few more flakes in the southwest, especially in the Rockies. Big old high pressure, big sky country, breezy, mild there for the season, and windy. Windy weather. More of that in
On
California.
the Weather Channel, your local forecast.